Greetings all you maniacs from Minds on Crimes, and welcome back to another Warframe's Ins and Outs. Today, we are going to be talking about Hydroid Prime. Now, everyone, I'm pretty sure, got Hydroid Prime recently because, I don't know, a DE fuck-up or whatever. We also got the new weapon, the new pistol, the hand cannon, which I don't care about because, well, it's a pistol, and it doesn't look very appealing to me. And, you know, if it was a rifle or a melee weapon, I might care a bit more. Anyway, Hydroid. Hydroid is a frame that I think is a good frame, but he desperately needs a rework. So, let's go over his passive and his abilities. So his passive is pointless. 50% chance to, spawn a tentacle on a slam attack with a melee weapon for 15 seconds. Ignore it. It doesn't do anything, at all. Tempest Barrage. Now, Tempest Barrage is pretty straightforward. So, you mark an area like that, and it starts to rain. So, it rains for a certain duration, and you charge it, it goes more, and it lasts longer, more damage. Now, Tempest Barrage by itself doesn't do that much damage, but with its augment Corroding Barrage, it does okay damage. So these are 20 Corrupted Heavy Gunners, level 140. The damage isn't great, but what it does do is crowd control. So it knocks enemies on their ass and knocks them around. I wish it just knocked them down. And it procs Corrosive on them. So, it keeps an area suppressed, and at normal levels, did one just die? Yeah, at normal levels, it will kill. Did one literally just die? I thought I heard a death cry. I guess one did die. Interesting, let's do that again. So, this ability is fine. I just wish it knocked enemies down instead of, flinging them around all over the place. But yeah, at normal levels, the damage isn't horrible. The enemies are actually dying somehow. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a bit bugged. Anyway, that is his first ability. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You can spam it to high hell. You can literally just keep areas suppressed forever just by spamming. So it's pretty useful, especially for areas that you want to lock down and different things like that. So his second ability, Tidal Surge. He turns into a wave and slams into enemies. It's not super useful. It makes you indestructible, and it is decently quick. And you can group up a whole lot of enemies this way and fling them around. And then you can just hit them with melee. So again, it's another okay crowd control. It's not the greatest. But like I said, you can group enemies up in a corner. And then just go crazy with a melee weapon. Or a AoE weapon. So there is that. Now, his third ability, Undertow. This is an ability that is, again, it's alright. So you turn into a puddle. Cool. Now, like this, you're invincible. And if you click on enemies, yeah, you drag them into the puddle and you start to drown them. Now, it doesn't do a lot of damage. You would think with enemies in water suffocating, they would take a lot of damage, but they don't. The truth is, this ability can kill high-level enemies given enough time. Because they can't go anywhere. You can also use your 2 like this to go faster, and yeah, you can just pull in more and more enemies. The energy drain does get a little crazy after a while. But yeah, after a while, you see the numbers are ticking and ticking and ticking. And yeah, given enough time, it will kill. Also, your allies can shoot where the puddle is, where you are, and kill everything. So there's a neat little synergy there. Um, so if Hydroid pulls in a whole lot of enemies and someone's like, I don't know, an Equinox or another frame that can do a lot of damage in an AoE, then yeah, you have some nuking potential. But other than that, yeah, you cannot pull in loot. I kind of wish you could. But yeah, you can just rapid fire tentacles and then you could just wait here. Wait here for the enemies to die. Now, the scaling is per enemy. The puddle itself does not scale damage. It's per enemy, which is a bummer. But, you know, you're invincible like this. And you can just pull anything in there, including nullifiers if they don't have their bubble active. So there is that. And yeah, it does okay. It's not particularly great, but it is definitely a thing. It is a good panic button. If you're being shot like crazy, you just do this, and nothing can hit you. And he'll even let you get your shields back, so there's that. And then his fourth ability. Man, I wish the ability was better. So, Tentacle Swarm. Yeah, you spawn this freaking Eldritch Abomination, and enemies just get, impaled with tentacles and flung around. It doesn't do great damage, and, well, it does magnetic damage for some reason. Why? I have no fucking idea. But, like this, enemies are completely incapacitated. Also, you can use your one with this. And then, the enemies can't do anything, they can't go anywhere, and the amount of damage you can deal is actually okay. So, there's also the augment Pilfering Swarm that will give you more loot. So, how that works is enemies just need to be, interact with the tentacles, then you kill them, you get more loot. Very simple. It's kind of like Chorus Strangledome augment, but Chorus Strangledome is far better than this because it's way more consistent. Anyway, a neat thing with Tentacle Swarm is if you are in your 3 and then you activate it, in this area, it's got more damage. So, also, when you're in your puddle form, you can activate all your abilities, no problem. And given enough time, Hydroid can, deal okay amounts of damage, but it really... his damage isn't enough. He's got solid crowd control. And there I go, I spawned a tentacle. He's got okay crowd control. He's got lingering crowd control, which is rare. I can think of only a few other frames that have lingering crowd control. But, Hydroid, I wish you were better. So I'm going to actually talk about some rework ideas I have. Anyway, this is my build. So with Hydroid, I just go for okay duration, okay range, and okay power strength. You can configure this however you want. And I have Corroding Barrage, but you could also use Pilfering Swarm. And for Pilfering Swarm, you might want a lot more range and duration. So there's that. But aside from using him like a loot frame, he needs a rework. Also, Natural Talent I feel is a must because without it, the cast speed is really slow because a lot of his 2 main abilities, his 1 and 4, are charge. So, reduce the charge speed. Imagine we get Prime Natural Talent. Nah, that'd be way too fucking powerful. Anyway, what are my rework ideas? Okay, first off, I think his 1 is fine. But what I would change with it is if you tap it, you get a barrage, but if you hold it, you get like an airstrike of water. I think that'd be a lot more useful. And of course, it would do more damage. Or they could just keep it the same. Tidal Surge, I would change this honestly into like a water blade. Give him another damage tool. So that would be kind of interesting. His 3 Undertow, no, scrap it. Give him a defensive ability because I don't know if you're seeing his armor and shield value and health value. He's squishy. He he doesn't have a way to live, so either give him damage reduction via another third ability or give him damage reduction via his passive. Say the amount of enemies affected by his abilities gives him set amount of damage reduction up to like 90%. I think that would be reasonable. It would be a bit, I guess you could say that's a little annoying, but with the wide area that his abilities affect, I don't think it would be that big of a problem. And Tentacle Swarm, I would honestly love for this to change so Hydroid doesn't spawn a Kraken or Eldritch Abomination, like I like to call it, but becomes one with writhing masses of tentacles that you can pick enemies up and like throw them or just smack them really, really hard. Be able to cast all of his abilities, great storms, all that other thing. He's a Warframe. Give him more power. So I don't know. That's just a few ideas that I have for Hydroid. As right now, he isn't horrible. He really does need a rework. I feel like he is more of a need a rework than Zephyr. Some people are like, oh, Zephyr really should get a rework because she's getting her deluxe skin. I think Zephyr's fine. I think Zephyr is fine as a fast tank that can crowd control. I think that's fine for her. Would I like her to be better? Sure. But Hydroid, he needs it more. But, there's a lot of frames that need reworks, including people like, I don't know, Banshee and a few others. So, yeah, that's Hydroid for you. He's not, like I said, he's not the worst. He really isn't. He works. He works pretty damn well, too. If you get into a rhythm with him and know what you're doing, he can deal okay damage, crowd control, especially crowd control, and give you more loot. It's just he isn't new user friendly. Now, that's not a bad thing. Not at all. Some people say, oh, a frame is only good if it's good for new players. I don't see it like that. But he needs a lot of things to happen for him to be very, very potent. And he just needs a little bit of help. So, I don't know. Maybe one day he will get a rework and become a, water god, fucking Cthulhu nightmare that I feel like he should be. But for now, this build right here is what I use, and it works decently well. I've done Kuva Disruption. I've done other high-level content with this build, and it was fine. I didn't feel like I was going to die at any point, but that's mostly because I'm used to playing squishy frames, so I know how to play without, just standing still. So, overall, though, Hydroid, he's good. But he could be better. He honestly could be better. He needs a rework. A full-blown rework would be wondrous. If he just gets some tweaks to make his ability stronger, that would be fine. And I was not kidding about his 4th ability doing magnetic damage. That is so odd to me. Why does it do magnetic? And it's not even enough magnetic damage to really do anything against shields. So, the hell? You'd think being impaled by a tentacle would do true damage, but nah. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about Hydroid. Everyone got him for free, so I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned something about Hydroid. And have a better understanding of him now. Anyway, next video will be of Zephyr. I will show Zephyr. I will talk about her. I haven't talked about her yet, even though I feel like she is very underrated. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trophy, we trust.